Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive with us. Today we're looking at something that could seriously shake things up in the future of work and, well, honestly, just the future in general. We're talking about PhD level super agents. AI, that's not just a tool, but, a colleague.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing when you really think about it. AI that can tackle complex goals and deliver results that could rival or even surpass human experts.
Right, like the stuff of science fiction, but it's becoming reality. And we've got some really interesting insider info on this. We're diving into an Axios article called Behind the Curtain Coming Soon, PhD Level Super Agents by Mike Allen and Jim Vandehei. And we've also got this thought-provoking tweet from Noam Brown, who's a top researcher at OpenAI.
And what's striking is that both of these sources are pointing to the same thing.
Hmm.
This is not just hype, this is really happening. The U.S. government is getting briefed on this. Congress is considering an AI infrastructure bill, and even OpenAI staff are buzzing about what they're creating. They're a mix of excited and apprehensive.
Okay, so let's break this down for everyone listening. What exactly are these super agents, and how are they different from the AI we're all using today? I mean, I can already ask my smart speaker to play music or set a timer.
Right, so think of it this way. Current AI is like a very smart assistant. You give it a specific command and it does it. But a super agent is more like an independent contractor. You give it a goal and it figures out the best way to achieve it. It can pull in information, analyze options, and deliver a finished product.
So instead of asking my smart speaker to find a recipe for chocolate chip cookies, I could tell a super agent, hey, I want to throw a surprise party for my friend who loves chocolate chip cookies. And it would handle everything, finding the recipe, ordering decorations, sending invitations.
Exactly, and it would probably do it better than I could.
Yeah.
We're talking about AI that can potentially build software programs, analyze financial markets, plan complex events, all with a level of autonomy that's pretty amazing.
Okay, wow. Now I'm starting to see why people are both excited and a little freaked out. But why is all of this happening now? Was there some kind of big breakthrough in AI?
Well, it's not so much a single breakthrough, but more like a bunch of things coming together at the right time. OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman recently said that we're entering the intelligence age, which is a pretty big statement.
Yeah.
It signals a huge shift in how we view and interact with AI.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And what about all the talk about AI replacing jobs?
Right, well, we've got tech giants like Mark Zuckerberg predicting that AI could replace certain jobs like mid-level software engineers.
Right.
And that this could happen within the year.
Whoa, hold on. Zuckerberg thinks AI could replace programmer. That's gotta have some folks in Silicon Valley worried.
Yeah, it definitely raises questions about the future of work, especially in fields that were once considered, safe from automation.
Hmm.
If AI can truly reach a PhD level of expertise, we need to start thinking about how we adapt, what new skills we need to learn, and how we make sure that everyone benefits from this technological revolution.
Yeah, that's a really important point. It's not just about the cool things AI can do, but also about the impact it will have on our lives, our
Mhm.
jobs, our society as a whole.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And while there's a lot of focus on the potential downsides like job displacement, we can't ignore the potential benefits. The Axios article highlights how super agents could revolutionize fields like healthcare and education. Imagine AI capable of conducting groundbreaking medical research or creating personalized learning plans for every student.
Okay, so we've got these super agents that can plan parties, write code, maybe even cure diseases. But let's be real for a second. Current AI still has some pretty big flaws. I mean, how many times have you gotten a totally nonsensical response from a chatbot? Or seen AI generate images that are just weird?
You're right, reliability is a huge issue. One of the biggest challenges with super agents is ensuring that they can be trusted to operate on their own. If they're making decisions based on bad information or producing outputs that are just nonsense or even harmful, the consequences could be pretty serious.
Yeah, it's like giving a self-driving car the wrong directions. It might end up somewhere interesting, but probably not where you want it to go.
Exactly. OpenAI and other companies working on these super agents are well aware of this challenge, and they're putting a lot of effort into making these systems more robust and reliable. But it's a complicated problem, and there's still a lot of work to be done before we can fully trust these agents to work without human oversight.
And even if we can solve the reliability issue, there's still the question of what happens to all the people who are currently doing those jobs. The Axios article quotes Steve Bannon, who warns that AI could gut the workforce, particularly entry-level jobs.
That's a pretty stark warning, and it highlights the need for a thoughtful approach to managing the impact of this technology on society. We need to be having discussions now about how we prepare workers for the changing job market, how we ensure everyone has access to the benefits of AI, and how we prevent existing inequalities from getting worse.
So we've got this incredible technology with the potential to change everything from healthcare to party planning, but it also comes with a whole bunch of ethical and societal challenges that we need to face head on. Where do we even begin to unpack all of this?
One place to start is by recognizing that the future of AI is not set in stone. It's being shaped right now by the choices we make, the conversations we have, and the actions we take.
This is where it gets really interesting.
It's not just about the technology itself, but about how we choose to use it and what kind of future we want to create. And that's a conversation that everyone needs to be a part of, not just the tech experts.
So to everyone listening, what stands out to you in all of this? What are your hopes and fears about the rise of super agents?
We've covered a lot today, from the technical capabilities of super agents to their potential impact on jobs and society. But there's one key question we haven't fully explored yet. If AI can reach a PhD level of expertise, does that mean it can also become more intelligent than humans? And if so, what does that mean for the future of humanity?
That's a question that's been keeping philosophers and scientists up at night for decades, and it's one that we'll need to grapple with as we enter this new era of intelligence. But before we get too existential, let's take a closer look at some of the specific ways that super agents could change our lives both for better and for worse. It's wild to think we might actually be on the edge of this intelligence age that Altman was talking about. But while we're all trying to wrap our heads around that, the folks at OpenAI are busy actually trying to make these super agents a reality.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And one of the biggest challenges they're facing is reliability, like we were talking about before. It's one thing for AI to, read a decent email or generate a funny image, but when these autonomous agents are making decisions that could affect people's lives, well, the stakes are a lot higher.
You're right. It's completely different. Like, think about letting your kid use AI to help with their homework versus letting AI drive a car. You want to be pretty darn sure that AI knows what it's doing before you let it take the wheel.
Exactly. And that's why OpenAI and these other companies working on this are putting so much time and money into developing techniques to make these super agents more robust and reliable and, less likely to have those hallucinations, those moments where they just kind of go off the rails and do something unpredictable or even harmful.
Okay, so let's say they figure out how to make them super reliable. Does that mean we can all just sit back and let the super agents take over? I mean, a world where AI handles all the boring stuff sounds pretty good to me.
Well, it's not quite that simple. Even if we could trust these super agents completely, we still need to think about what it means for society. For example, if AI can really reach a PhD level of expertise in all these different fields, what happens to all the human experts?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And we already talked about Zuckerberg's prediction that AI could replace certain jobs. But it's not just about losing jobs. It's about how we value human expertise and creativity and ingenuity. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. We need to think about what it even means to be human in a world where AI can potentially do so many things better than us. What are the skills that make us unique and valuable? And how do we adapt our education systems and job training programs to prepare people for this new reality?
It's like we're having to rethink what it means to be human and what our role is in this new intelligence age.
Yeah, and this goes beyond just jobs and the economy. It brings up these big questions about ethics and fairness and who has power in this new world. If AI becomes the main driver of innovation and productivity, who benefits from that? How do we ensure that everyone has access to the opportunities that come with AI?
This is a lot to take in, but one thing's for sure. This conversation needs to happen everywhere, not just in Silicon Valley or at universities. We need everyone at the table, from the people making the policies to teachers to everyday people, to figure out how to navigate this new world.
Absolutely. This isn't just a tech problem, it's a problem for all of society. And the decisions we make right now will have a huge impact on the future.
So where do we even start? We've talked about reliability, societal impact ethics, the future of work. It's a lot. What are some things we can actually do as individuals and as a society to make sure that AI is developed and used in a way that benefits everyone?
That's a great question, and one that probably deserves its own deep dive. But here are a few key areas to focus on. First, we have to prioritize transparency and accountability in AI development.
So instead of just trusting that the AI knows what it's doing, we need to understand how it makes decisions, what data it's using, and what biases it might have.
Exactly. We can't have these black box AI systems that operate without any oversight or accountability.
Yeah.
That's just asking for trouble. We need to be able to audit these systems, understand their limitations, and ensure that they're aligned with our values.
That makes sense. What else?
Second, we need to invest in education and job training programs that help prepare people for the jobs of the future. This isn't just about teaching everyone how to code. It's about developing critical thinking, creativity, problem solving, and other skills that will be crucial in a world where AI is everywhere.
So we need to help people develop the skills that are hard for AI to replicate. Makes sense. What about people who are already in jobs that AI might take over? What happens to them?
That's a tough one. There's no easy answer. But we need to think about safety nets, retraining programs, and other ways to support those workers who might be displaced by AI. This is a societal problem that requires a societal response.
It sounds like we need a total shift in how we think about work education and the whole social contract.
I think you're right. The rise of AI is making us rethink some of our most basic ideas about how society works. It's a big challenge, but it's also an incredible opportunity to create a more just equitable and fulfilling future for everyone.
I like the sound of that. But before we get too carried away with all these positive ideas about the future, let's come back down to earth for a minute. One of the things that really stood out to me in that Axios article was the quote from Steve Bannon where he warns that AI could gut the workforce. It's a pretty serious warning, and it brings up some important questions about how this technology could impact our economy and our society.
Yeah, Bannon's warning is definitely something we need to pay attention to. While AI has the potential to create new jobs and make us more productive, it also has the potential to push people out of their jobs and make existing inequalities even worse. We need to be aware of these risks and come up with ways to minimize them.
So it's not just about making sure AI is technically sound and ethical, but also about making sure that its benefits are shared fairly and that we address any potential downsides head on.
Exactly. We need to think about the impact of AI on society as a whole and work together to create a future where this technology is used for good, not for harm.
So it's not just about the code, it's about the choices we make and the world we want to live in.
Exactly. AI is a powerful tool, but like any tool, it can be used for good or bad. It's up to us to decide how we want to use it.
Okay, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed by how big and complicated all this is, but also kind of excited about the possibilities.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, I want to bring it back to our listeners. What's one thing you'd want them to take away from all this?
I think the most important thing is to remember that the future of AI is not set in stone. It's being shaped right now by the decisions we make, the conversations we have, and the actions we take. We all have a responsibility to think critically about this technology and to be proactive in shaping its development.
I don't know about you, but I'm still trying to process all of this. Super agents, planning our vacations, diagnosing our illnesses, maybe even composing symphonies. It's mind-blowing and exciting and honestly a little bit scary all at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty normal reaction to all of this.
Yeah.
It's important to be aware of the potential challenges that AI brings, but we can't forget about the amazing opportunities that it opens up.
You know what keeps coming back to me? This idea of trust. Can we really trust these super agents to make decisions that are good for us? I mean, they're going to be making decisions on their own in a way we've never seen before.
That's a really important point. It's not just about trusting the technology itself, but also the people and organizations who are creating and using it. We need to be demanding transparency, accountability, and ethical guidelines. We have to make sure that these super agents are aligned with human values and goals.
So it's not just about the code, it's about us. It's about humans being involved to make sure AI is serving humanity and not the other way around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that means everyone needs to be involved, not just the tech industry. We need policymakers, ethicists, social scientists, everyday people, all having a say. It's a shared responsibility to make sure AI benefits everyone.
Okay, I'm ready to get involved. But let's be real, most of us aren't AI experts. What can regular people actually do to make a difference in all of this?
That's a great question. Here are a few simple things that can make a big difference. First, stay informed. Read articles, listen to podcasts, follow experts on social media, and learn about what's happening with AI.
So don't just scroll past those AI headlines on your feed. Actually click on them and learn something.
Exactly. The more we talk about AI, the better we understand it and the better decisions we can make about how it's developed and used.
So start those conversations with your family and friends. Bring it up at work. Make AI the topic of your next book club meeting. I like it. What else?
And finally, don't be afraid to ask questions. Challenge the assumptions people are making. Demand transparency. Hold the people in power accountable. Remember, the future of AI is not set in stone. It's being shaped right now by the choices we're making.
So to everyone listening, as we finish up this deep dive into the world of super agents, we want to leave you with a challenge. Don't just sit back and watch this happen. Be a part of shaping the future of AI. It's a future that affects all of us.
And remember, we're just at the beginning of this journey into the age of intelligence. Stay curious, stay engaged, and stay hopeful.
That's it for this episode of the Dem Drive. We hope you found this insightful and thought-provoking and maybe even a little bit inspiring. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning.